The pace of change right now on marriage equality is staggering. Rhode Island and Delaware both got marriage equality in the last couple of weeks. Minnesota, if marriage equality comes to Minnesota this week, will be the 12th state to achieve marriage equality in the United States, and the 3rd since the Supreme Court heard oral arguments on the Defense of Marriage Act, the Federal Defense of Marriage Act, and California's Proposition 8. The pace of change is staggering and heartening and thrilling. So little is going right, right? This is going very right, and it is a little flabbergasting. I remember saying to someone not too long ago that I didn't expect to see marriage equality in the United States in my lifetime. I found it in an op-ed I wrote for the New York Times that I was looking up to find something else, and there it was, me saying not too long ago that this would not happen in my lifetime, and it is happening in my lifetime. And what is driving this? What is making this happen? The very thing that the original gay, lesbian, bi, trans, civil rights activists identified as our secret weapon, and the thing that would change everything, which is just people are fucking out now. People are out to their friends and families and coworkers and colleagues, and that changes everything. In Delaware, State Senator Karen Peterson, who has been in a lesbian relationship with a woman, for 24 years, was not out. She came out during the floor debate in the Senate. She said she wasn't sure what she was going to do. She's a very private person. Okay, your relationship is actually kind of public. Nobody says straight people should have to hide their husbands and wives to keep their private lives private. But 24 years she's been with this woman. She's out to her friends and family. People know, but she wasn't publicly out. She wasn't politically out. And she said that before the floor debate, she wasn't sure if she would come out during the floor debate. She was going to listen to what the opposition had to say and make up her mind. And the opposition stood on the floor of the Delaware State Senate and lied and said that being gay was a choice, being lesbian was a choice, that it was a sickness, that it was sinful, and that gay relationships, same-sex relationships, same-sex marriage, somehow imperiled or threatened the relationships of opposite-sex couples, of straight couples. Here's what Delaware State Senator Karen Peterson said as she came out last week. "We are what God made us. We do not need to be fixed. We are not broken." And I love this. "If my happiness somehow demeans or diminishes your marriage, then you need to work on your marriage." Right fucking on, and welcome out, fully out, the rest of the way out, to State Senator Karen Peterson. In Nevada, where they're debating repealing that state's ban on same-sex marriage. Okay, let's just pause for a second there. Nevada, Las Vegas, where you can get insta-married and insta-divorced, where prostitution is legal, somehow same-sex marriage is illegal because it's a threat to the sanctity of quickie marriages in roadside wedding chapels performed by busted Elvis impersonators. But anyway, they're debating repealing the ban on same-sex marriage in Nevada, and State Senator Kelvin Atkinson came out during a debate over repealing that state's ban and said, "I am black and I am gay." And this was news to his colleagues and his constituents. And it is going to change things. After the governor signed the marriage equality bill last week in Rhode Island, here's what State Senator Donna Nesselbush had to say. She thanked all those who came out before it was safe to do so. "Together," she said, "we shattered the myths, we changed hearts and minds on this issue one at a time." That is it. In a nutshell, that is the success of the LGBT civil rights movement. We still got work to do. We got ENDA to pass. We've got DADT to finish. The repeal of Don't Ask, Don't Tell was incomplete. It didn't cover trans people. Trans people can serve openly in the military in Canada and Israel and the United Kingdom, not in the United States. We got work to do all over the place, but we are winning. And we are winning on the issue that touches on the heart of who we are, which is about love. It's about love, it's about relationships, it's about family, and recognizing that we can love, that our relationships are equal to and as valid as the relationships of heterosexuals, and that our families deserve the same rights and protections and responsibilities. This cuts to the heart of what our movement has been about from the start. Sorry if I'm ranting a little bit. I'm really excited. And as I speak to you, I am watching with one eye the debate via live stream in the Minnesota State Senate. Here's, one of the ironies about Minnesota, really quickly. A couple of years ago, when the Republicans controlled the Minnesota legislature, they pushed an anti-gay marriage amendment to Minnesota state constitution onto the ballot. And they put it on the ballot in 2012, hoping to drive turnout The same batshit haters who poured into voting booths in 2004 and approved anti-gay marriage amendments in states all over the country, which helped reelect George W. Bush. This was their strategy. They were going to do it again. And you know what happened? Voters in Minnesota rejected that amendment. And something partially as a result of the amendment appearing on the ballot, Democrats took back control of both houses of the legislature, Democrat in the governor's mansion. Here's the fruit of your hateful labor, Minnesota anti-gay haters, marriage equality, being the first state in the Midwest to approve it through the legislature. Iowa's got it, but Iowa got it from the Supreme Court ruling in the state of Iowa. Minnesota's going to be the first to get it through the legislature, first to get it through the democratic process. Congratulations, haters. Turning to the Gall file for just a second, State Representative Peggy Scott, Republican of Andover, Minnesota, said this after marriage equality passed Minnesota House. "My heart breaks for Minnesota," she said, crying on the floor of the House, in the State House in Minnesota. "This is a divisive issue that divides our state. It's not what we need to be doing at this time." Where were the tears, Representative Scott, when the Republicans and the anti-gay, quote-unquote, family values haters were pushing gay marriage onto the ballot and attempting to divide the state? It was a fine issue for you. You loved gay marriage when it divided the state in your favor. Now it seems to be dividing. The math seems to be working out. The division, the long division, working out in our favor. And suddenly, boodly hoodly hoo, tears running down your face. Representative Scott's heart breaks for Minnesota. She says, "You know who my heart breaks for? My heart breaks for the lesbian widow who's thrown out of her own partner's wedding. My heart breaks for the gay widow who loses the house that he shared with his partner for 40 years because an estranged cousin, thrice removed, shows up and has legal claim to it because their relationship isn't recognized under the law." When we talk about same-sex marriage, we get bogged down in these conversations about banquet halls and bakers making cakes and florists. We get caught up in these conversations about the rites and, the ceremony, the party. And that's not where the rubber meets the road. That's not really when it comes to same-sex marriage, where gay or lesbian couples' hearts are broken. It's when they are discriminated against, and the powers and rights of marriage are almost always most important at the worst moments of life, during a medical emergency, after the death of a spouse. That's when the rights, the most important ones, really kick in. And that's when the most damage is done to same-sex couples. It's not the florist who won't make arrangements for a gay wedding who really hurts a same-sex couple when they're vulnerable. It's a hospital administrator turning the partner away. As we saw recently in one case, having the male spouse of a gay man removed from his partner's room in handcuffs during a medical emergency. That's when hearts break, Representative Scott.